everyone, it's Ray of Light here again, and I first want to start off by those who actually subscribe to my videos and watch my videos on a frequent basis. I am so sorry about how long it's been since I've actually recorded a video. I think it's almost been about a year or so, but the reason why I've kind of been out of the whole YouTube realm is because I've been moving. Well, I actually just moved. I just moved from Spain to England a few months ago or so. So I was kind of in the middle of trying to get everything together. So I do have a legitimate reason, but I do apologize to those who actually watch my videos on a frequent basis. But anyway, today I have something kind of exciting to talk about. I'm going to be doing a video on a haunted house that I lived in Florida. I'm not sure if you guys have seen my video. It's labeled Scariest Paranormal Experience. Well, anyway, in that video I talk about a very scary situation that happened to me in Florida, and I kind of briefly discuss, my relationship with Florida and how usually every time I visit this state, something really negative happens to me. So anyway, back to the story. So at the time, I believe I was either 12 or 13, around that age, and my parents had just finalized their divorce, and I was living with my mother in Georgia, but there was some issues going on, and my family felt as if it was necessary for me to live with my father a little bit more in a stable environment. So my father came to pick me up one weekend, and we moved down to Florida. And he ended up getting in a four-plex. It was a big, huge home, but it was squared off into 4 different homes. There was 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So we resided in the very back house to the right. Also, since it was a fourplex, all the just about every wall, every other wall was connected to a neighbor's wall, because it was mainly just a really huge house, but just had 4 sections in it, so each wall was kind of connected to one another, but it was sealed off, so it wasn't like you could walk into your neighbor's house or anything like that. So anyway, when we first moved to the house, I've always had some type of understanding that I was a little bit more open to paranormal events. So, when we moved into the house, I kind of had like a feeling, in my stomach that there was something a little off about the house. I wasn't scared by any means, but I just knew that there was something a little different about it. Like I always felt like there was multiple occupants inside of the one little home that we were actually living in. It was just me and my father, but I felt like there was like several people that lived in that house, because it never felt like you were completely alone. It always felt like there was somebody else that was in the house with you. So some of the experiences that I did feel, a lot of them were mainly in my bedroom for some reason. Well, I know the reason why. I'm gonna get to that later. But a lot of the experiences were in my bedroom, and I would notice, like, especially like at night, I had this really large closet, okay, and so yeah, like a really large walk-in closet, and I was like really afraid of that closet. Like for some reason, like I would be afraid to go in there to go get my clothes and get ready for school sometimes, because I had to go back there and get my things. Like I was really afraid of this closet, and so one day, I think it was about the first or the second week living in the house, I started really noticing and understanding that there was something else going on in that house that was unexplainable. So I was sleeping in my bed, and I woke up like immediately. I don't even know why. I just woke up, and I noticed that there was like a really, like, my room was already dark as it was, but there was a really dark shadow kind of like going from the closet to the bathroom, and from the bathroom back to the closet, and it was kind of like really hard to see if that's what was really happening, because it was so dark already as it was, and I was already kind of sleepy, but I knew that there was something there. Like I even felt like I wasn't alone in the room. And then the next experience I had was always coming from the closet. I would hear whistling noises in the closet, but it would be really faint whistling noises, but definite whistling noises coming from the closet. And then I also had a lot of experiences in the bathroom as well. I would always feel like I was being watched by something. I had my own personal bathroom in my bedroom, and I always felt as if like there was someone in the bathroom. Like when I would take showers, I always felt like there was somebody in there with me. And one day what I did was I ended up getting one of those cameras. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there were some cameras that came out. They were like these little bitty Polaroid type cameras that came out like forever ago. And what you could do is you can take a picture and then you can slide the picture out. But it was like one of those really long, like rectangular shaped cameras. So you would take a picture and then you could slide the picture out, and it would be like on this really long film. Anyway, it was like something that was out like early 2000s. Anyway, so I had that little camera, and for some reason I got like the feeling that I should go into the bathroom where I felt where something wasn't right and I should take a picture of it. So I had my little Polaroid camera, and I took a picture in this one wall in the bathroom. And so I took it out, and I was waiting for it to develop on the picture, on the film. And I noticed that you could see the wall, but in like the center of the wall, it was this huge black mass just like posted up on the wall, and it wasn't there, to the naked eye. But when I actually caught it on a picture film, it was there. I wish I still had that photo. I don't know where it is now, but it scared the crap out of me. I was like, I knew something was in that bathroom. And also a lot of experience I would have would be just vivid dreams. I would have a lot of dreams of a young boy in my room, and he would always come from the closet, and he would sit down next to me. And it just seemed like it was so real, because the way that my bedroom was set up, my dog doesn't like me to tell stories, I guess. So the way that my bedroom was set up, actually I'm going to draw a little picture. So there was a window here. There was a window at the very, like in the middle of my room, but it was like on the very end wall. If you guys can even see that. And then my bed was right underneath that window. Anyway, so my bed was right underneath that window, and there was also a street light that would come on at night. So I remember like I would not actually need to have any type of light in my room, like a night light, because the street light was always so bright that it shined in my room. So my bed was directly underneath that street light where the window was, like this kind of sorta, like this is the window and this is my bed, and so like the light would beam in on my bed, and it would be right directly over my bed, And so when I would have these dreams, I would dream that I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, and I'm talking to whoever this person is that just came out of the closet, and I remember seeing the light reflecting on his face, and he never had a shirt on for some reason. I remember seeing the light reflecting on his face and on his back, and I don't remember seeing him like dead on, but I remember seeing like the sides of his face, and I remember seeing like his shoulder and his back, and I remember seeing the light reflecting off of his body. And we would just be sitting there talking. I never know what the conversations were about, but I remember that we would just be sitting there talking to one another. So that was something that would happen constantly. And then like as I would be sleeping sometimes, or I would be trying to fall asleep, since the closet was kind of like at the end of my bed, I would feel like somebody playing with my toes at night, like tickling my feet, playing with my toes. Sometimes I would feel it in my ear, like somebody trying to play with my ear. It was just really strange, like little really strange things here and there. One day I was walking to the bus stop for school, and I would always notice this woman that lived in the very front housing development of like the four-plex that we lived in. She lived in the very front on the right hand side, so her home was basically directly connected to ours. And I would always see her every morning. She was an elderly woman, and she was disabled, so she was always in a wheelchair, and she would usually just sit outside in the front and just, I guess enjoy the weather, enjoy the scenery. And one day I actually just spoke to her, because I always see her out there by herself. And I was like, hi, how are you doing? I'm such and such, me and my dad, we just moved here. And I would just, have a little conversation with her. And she was just so friendly and so excited that somebody was, talking to her. And we started just having like a little friendship, I guess, that had developed over a time period. And I remember one day her and I were talking, and she told me, she said, my grandson used to live here with me. And I was like, oh, okay, like, what was your grandson like? Where is he? And so she was like, well, my grandson was 13. And she starts telling me about her grandson and how he lived there with her. And she starts telling me that he actually killed himself in the house. And she told me that he committed suicide, and he actually wrote a letter out to his family members to what he wanted each person, like basically like his will. He wrote out to each person what he wanted them to have, and she actually showed me the letter that he wrote, and it was so sad because I was reading the things that he was saying in the letter, and he was saying how he wanted his brothers to have his PlayStation, and he wanted his grandmother to know that he loves her so much, but he felt like he was doing the right thing by killing himself. I mean, it was so sad to read. I've never read anybody's, handwritten will of somebody committing suicide before. So that really made me want to sympathize with her more. So after even reading that, of course, I would continuously visit her just so she would know that she had some type of friend, to talk to and confide in. So, I thought that was interesting that her grandson had killed himself in that home. So what I ended up doing was that night, I went and talked to my dad about it, about what she told me. And my father is actually in law enforcement, and my father explained to me that he was actually on call when it happened, and since it happened so close to home, he was the first one to respond. And he went to go investigate, I guess, what happened to the young boy. And he told me that he actually found the young boy in the closet, and he had hung himself in the closet. And if you guys remember, everything that I have been experiencing has all came from the closet. And even though we didn't live in the exact same household together, our closets shared a wall, so I just thought that was really odd. So he was like, yeah, he killed himself, and he was a young boy. He was the same exact age as me at the time, and so I just thought that was just so odd how things would seem to be happening, and it was all stemming from the closet. The scariest experience that I had in the home was one day, me and my father, sitting in I was sitting in the living room, and my dad, he was in the kitchen. And the way that the house was made was the kitchen had a little window that peeped directly into the living room. And so I'm sitting there on the floor watching TV, watching something, and my dad, he's cooking, and he's asking me questions about what I want to eat for dinner that night. And so as he's asking me this question, he, asked me to pay attention. So I turn around, to see exactly what it is that he wanted. And as I'm turning around, I see a pair of black, like solid black legs just walking right in front of me. I didn't see the torso, I didn't see anything else above the waistline, but I just saw somebody walking past me. And it was just so quick how it happened, but it was so definite that I know that I saw somebody walking past me. And later on that night, we finished eating dinner, and I went to my room. And I was in band when I was in junior high, and so I decided to start practicing my clarinet. And as I'm practicing my clarinet, I continuously see someone peeking out at me from the bathroom. And so I'm looking over because I see somebody peeking out at me, and it was like they were playing like peekaboo. It was so weird. It was like they would go around the corner, look at me, and then hide, and then continuously do it. Look at me and then hide. And so I stopped playing my clarinet, and I just stopped and I looked and just kept like studying what the hell is in the bathroom, and of course I never saw anything because I knew that I was paying attention now, I guess, but I knew there was something in the bathroom. And that was one thing. It was like in the closet, it frightened me, yeah, because I knew something was there, but it felt more as if a human spirit was residing in the closet. But in the bathroom, that was something else. I think something in the bathroom was demonic. I really do believe it was demonic. And I went and grabbed a Bible. And I'm not a very religious individual whatsoever. When I was younger growing up, it was pushed onto us to be religious. I was so done with being afraid of whatever it was in a bathroom that I grabbed a Bible and I just opened it up to any page and I just started reading scriptures. And I can tell that whatever it was in the bathroom, it got mad. It got really, really mad. And I remember feeling as if I ran it out of the bathroom and into the living room. And so I walked into the living room like I was brave, y'all. Like I don't know how I did this as a little 13-year-old, but I did it. But I took the Bible with me, and I felt as if whatever it was had went into the living room. So I went into the living room, and I started reading the scriptures, and started reading and reading and reading, and then for some reason I felt compelled to go to this one particular wall in the living room, and I swear to you that that wall it started developing a shadow on it as I was reading the Bible. And I'm just continuously reading and I'm looking up at the wall and I see that, there's this black mass starting to form. Like I can physically see this black mass starting to form on the wall. So I'm continuously reading the Bible and I'm seeing it as it gets darker. And I'm like, I'm getting afraid because this thing is about to manifest and show itself. And I'm just like, oh God, what am I doing? So I stopped reading the Bible. I put the Bible down and I was like, I gotta stop this because I don't know what I'm stirring up. I have no clue, but I knew whatever I was doing, it was seriously affecting whatever that thing was in the house. Like there were no more serious, significant, like haunting events that happened in the house after I did that. And I think about maybe a few months later, we actually moved out of the house and we moved to a different state. So whatever it was, it resides in that house and it didn't follow us anywhere. Whatever it was directly connected to that home. And I believe it had a lot to do with the little boy committing suicide. And I think the suicide that this boy committed probably attracted other spirits, and that's what was living in the bathroom. But that was a really scary event, especially for a young girl at the age of 13 dealing with something like that. But yeah, that is my haunted house story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will be posting up more videos in the future. And like I said, I do apologize for not making anything for almost a year now. But I'm back and I will be doing more videos like this haunted house video and my paranormal experiences. So please stay tuned and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. You guys take care of yourselves. Bye.